Okay, live from the MMB Radio studios. This is MMB Radio, the online podcast where no topic is too big, too small. We talk about them all. And on the phone lines right now, I have adult film star Miss Alison Rey. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you for taking time out tonight to talk to us a little bit about all the stuff you got going on in your wonderful world of adult fantasies.
Of course.
So I got a lot of things that I want to talk about tonight and a lot of different things I want to make mentions about tonight. But first things first, for people who are not too familiar with you, you're still kind of freshly new to the business, right?
Kind of. That's kind of a misconception a lot of people have about me. I've actually been in porn for over a year, which by most people's standards is not new. I have, however, only done about 32 scenes, I believe, which is very, very new. So it's kind of a catch-22. So the amount of time I've been in porn, I'm not new, but the amount of scenes I've done, I'm super new. So it's kind of somewhere in the middle.
So you are only 19 years old?
Correct.
Now, so how did that all come about? Like, were you always the type of person who was an exhibitionist, that always enjoyed being naked?
I was a hypersexual child. That's for sure, like masturbating from a very young age. But I think it was just that I was curious. It wasn't, that I was particularly, interested in exhibitionism or anything like that. Actually, I don't think I've really ever had been watched before prior to starting porn. So I think that was really the first time that I had other people in the room when I was having sex with someone else. But I was just curious about it, so I tried it, and I loved it, and that's why I kept doing it.
I like how you say that's probably the first time anybody's ever watched you do it. Leaving that mystery that there could have been somebody at some point being a peeping Tom watching you. We're not quite sure. We can't confirm nor deny the fact that I've ever been watched. But officially, I can confirm that there were people on set. So what was that experience like? Was it awkward at first, or were you just kind of like...
No, it wasn't awkward at all. It was actually really great. It was with Cherie DeVille, and she is the sweetest girl I have met in my time in the industry so far. And I love that woman so much. She made me so comfortable and at ease with the scene because I was so super nervous the night before. Like, I literally had cold feet the night before, and now I understand why they say you get cold feet, because my feet were so cold because I was so nervous. My body was shaking. It was a pretty bad experience the night before, and I was really nervous going into it, sitting in the makeup chair and just kind of like waiting for it all to happen. But then once I got going, it was a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed it.
So your first time ever shooting a scene was a girl-girl scene?
Yes, it was Mommy Loves Young Muff, and I'm actually on the DVD cover. So my very first scene, I got my very first cover.
Wow, so that's like a major accomplishment. A lot of people don't get to be featured on the cover right away, right?
Right. I've never actually heard of anyone having their first scene be their first DVD cover.
Now, do you consider yourself to be bisexual, or?
Oh, absolutely. I've known that I've liked girls probably, I'd say I knew when I was like 10, maybe.
So Barbie wasn't hooking up with Ken, it was like Barbie and like Stacy hooking up?
I don't ever remember playing with Barbie dolls, actually. I was a very active kid. I wouldn't say so much as, I wouldn't go so far as to say tomboy, but I was the kind of girl that would run around with the boys in the neighborhood and ride bikes and do stupid things, and so I never really played Barbies.
Okay. So you consider yourself bisexual. First scene was with a female. What are your favorite types of scenes to shoot? Do you enjoy girl-girl more? Or do you enjoy girl-boy, boy-boy, girl-girl, whatever? I'm so confused with how many there is. Like, what do you like to do?
I've filmed a lot of boy-girl and not as many girl-girl. So it's really kind of hard for me to make a really good judgment on what I like filming more, simply because I haven't been exposed to girl as much as I have to boy. And a consequence of that is not really, getting to know a lot of different types of people, a lot of different types of directors, the way that they'll direct certain scenes. And honestly, right now, it's kind of in the middle. I like them both a lot. I think there's a different dynamic to both types of scenes. So I like boy-girl, in the sense that I can actually really get fucked, and I love sex, and so that's a lot of fun, and I can usually have that submissive role that I naturally play. But then with girls, it's a lot more sensual, which I also really like, because with girls, I'm not as, dominant or submissive. It's just kind of about that mutual desire for each other. So I like being able to do both.
Very awesome. So we got a couple questions here from fans that I wanted to ask. One of the questions a fan asked, I want to know, what is your favorite position? Like, whether it be in film or personal life, like, what do you enjoy the most?
It's called the kneeling fox. Or so I've been told. The kneeling fox. It's like, imagine if you're in doggy, and then both of you sit back on your heels, so that almost like you're kneeling, and yeah. So you're kneeling and he's behind you, and it's like that. It hits my G-spot perfectly, and it's great.
I will take your word for it. I like how you started off with, imagine you're in doggy. Okay, well, that's going to be just difficult for me to imagine on my own. But if I was a female, yes, I could probably imagine that.
Well, both of you go back. So if you're in doggy with her, you're both going to sit back.
Okay.
Yeah, so both people sit back.
I thought you were taking me down a whole nother path that I just did not want to venture down. So what is, I like to always ask my guests, what is the biggest misconception about being in the porn business?
I think the biggest misconception currently is that girls don't enjoy what they do, or that we're mistreated. I was actually having a debate with a girl I work with today, and it got me really upset because she has no idea I do porn. So I really just wanted to be like, God damn it, I know what I'm talking about. Like, stop telling me that I'm wrong, because you have no idea. And, she's telling me how so many girls, like, they hate what they do, and they're forced to do things that they don't actually want to do, and it's a bad place, and they're miserable, and they're all on drugs. And I've never found this to be true. Girls smoke weed, but who the hell doesn't, And in every profession, someone's doing drugs, wherever. And it's not like anyone's taking a Xanax before doing a scene like people think. I've never seen that happen. Every single set I've been on, no one is high, no one is drunk. There's just no substance use on set, because you wouldn't be able to concentrate and produce a good scene, and then no one's going to hire you because you act that way on set. So I think just, the umbrella of misconceptions is that, we're people who don't care very much about ourselves or our jobs. And I think that's absolute bullcrap.
Now, what do you enjoy the most about being in the adult business? Is it the sex? Is it the money? Is it both? Is it something else?
Well, I got into it for the sex. I'm not going to lie and say, I'm not doing it for the money, because everyone is, to an extent. I think that, the money keeps people doing it, if in fact, they aren't entirely happy. But for me, it's just a nice perk. I love the sex. I love the people I meet. I think the best part about it for me is the confidence I have gained from actually finally becoming comfortable with my body and who I am as a person, and making so many more friends than I've ever been able to make, at home. And it's just really great finally coming into my own, and that porn has been able to facilitate that.
Now, you mentioned friends back at home. How did people at home take to the news that you were going to be doing adult films? Were they shocked? Or?
I started porn before I told anyone, and it was probably about 3 months in that I decided to, let everyone know before they found out on their own. So my mom was really supportive. She wasn't surprised because, like I said, I was a hypersexual child. She was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. You know, not in the, like, you're a slut sort of way, but, you know, that she knows her kid. And,
well, she
you know,
knew when you were humping, you know, Tickle Me Elmo that, you know, this is probably a gateway.
Probably. But, yeah, she was very supportive. My dad was a little more concerned. I don't want to say my mom wasn't concerned because she had a lot of questions. She wanted to make sure I was safe and I was happy and everything. But, you know, she didn't really have any objections to it. My dad, on the other hand, you know, kind of tried to, like, point some things out that might steer me on another path. But ultimately, he accepted my decision, and they both love me very much still. And, you know, I love going home and seeing them, and it's great. And there's no judgment there, and we still all have fun together, and it's awesome. And, of course, my friends are like, oh, that's great, that's cool, like, good for you. Like, no one really cares. I think a lot of people my age are kind of, I think we're like the acceptance generation. Like, we're like, you do you, man. Like, and that's
it. So, another question a fan tweets and he wants to know, are you spoken for? Like, how is relationships like being in the adult business? Is it easier, harder? Do you just date exclusively in the business, or what's that like?
I started porn dating a guy who was not in the business, and it was hard, and we did end up breaking up. I don't want to say it was hard, like we had a lot of fights or anything. We just grew apart because I became a new person because I was dating him when I actually entered the business, and it was like a mutual decision that it was okay for me to do that. And because I grew as a person and, you know, I got to know myself better, I changed, and I wasn't the same person that he started dating. And I think that's what really, you know, made us move apart after a little while. Now, I am dating a guy in the industry. His name is Cody Steele. He's still kind of newer, and it's wonderful. We only have sex with other people within the context of work, so if we're on set, it's okay. If, you know, I come home to him fucking some girl, that's not okay. So, but it's great, and it's actually a lot easier with him than it was with my previous boyfriend because we're both, you know, doing the same thing, and we have that mutual respect for each other, and we know it's just work. And at the end of the day, we come home to each other, we love each other, and the sex between us is very different than the sex we have on set.
Now, what is the difference when you say the sex that you have on set and the sex that you have at home? What is one of the major differences? Is there something that you do on set that you don't do at home, or vice versa?
Well, first and foremost, I don't do cream pies ever on set. At home, I will occasionally. But I think the biggest difference would be emotions, obviously, because, you know, you show up on set, usually it's a stranger you're going to be fucking that day. And a lot of the times I am attracted to them, but I don't have any, you know, deep feelings for them. So it's hard to have that emotional connection with someone. You know, you can fake it for the scene, but it's, you know, there's no emotion there. It's just, you know, raw, carnal, like, you know, let's just fuck. And it's great, and I love it, but it's also nice to have that emotional connection with someone when you come home.
Now, is there something that you will not do in porn? Like, are you something you're totally, like, against doing?
It's just cream pies, and, you know, I want to reserve that for my personal life.
Okay. Now, have anybody ever, like, put you in that awkward situation where they ask you to do something and, like, you were like, no, not trying to do that? And how did you handle that?
Well, you know, people will ask me about anal and interracial. Anal right now, I'm just, like, not able to handle it. And, you know, I don't know if
I can see where you need to ease into something like that.
Yeah, it's kind of important. So, and you know, and I'm also, like, my body's very sensitive. I feel pain very easily. And so, like, some of the guys in porn, like, I can't even have vaginal sex with because, like, it hurts. I'm not trying to say, like, I'm super tight or anything. It's just that, like, my body can't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just biology. And then as far as interracial goes, like, those guys in porn are insanely big. So, like, if I think I can't have sex with, you know, white guys who are big, like, there's no way I can do that. I also don't like the way that interracial porn is racialized in the porn industry, you know, and for that reason I also wouldn't want to go down that path, because I don't think it's right to, you know, be able to make that a genre and a kink for people, because it's kind of not a great...
Porn is porn. That's the way I look at it.
Porn is porn, but at the same time, like, it does affect, you know, the larger society around us, and if we allow porn to be racialized the way it is, then we're going to see that in society as well. And so, even if I'm just one person, I know I'm not going to change the planet, but I don't want to take part in that kind of discrimination.
Now, what advice would you give to people that are trying to get into, like, say, a guy, or a girl is trying to get into the business? Like, what's if you could give them one piece of advice, what would it be?
Get an agent. I see a lot of people, you know, tweeting or messaging stars, and we have no control over you getting into the business. And, you know, they won't ask us, like, how do you do it? They're just like, they want to do one with us, or, you know, they're asking for, you know, specific information about agents and stuff, and we really can't give that to you. It's really whatever agent fits best with you. You got to talk to the agent yourself, and see who's willing to work for you.
All right, so now a couple fun questions here. Now that we got all the important business out of the way, what kind of music do you listen to?
I love country.
Okay, so you're a country music artist. Who are some of your favorite artists? So who are you currently listening to right now?
Well, it's kind of a mix. I like, you know, more classic country, like classic pop country, and then newer stuff. So, like, I like, you know, Toby Keith, Alan Jackson, Garth Brooks. But then I also really love, like, Keith Urban and Dierks Bentley and Sam Hunt. So it's a little mixture.
Now, another question that someone had here, and I always kind of get this question asked, and I like to ask this too. Do you have any celebrity crushes? Is there anybody, like, if you had Dierks Bentley or, like, you know, Toby Keith or anybody like that? Like, what's your celebrity crush?
I really like Ryan Reynolds a lot.
Okay.
I would let Ryan Reynolds do horrible things to me.
But and you can't take a lot of pain, so you would allow him to bring on pain?
Okay, I want to clarify the pain thing, because I am a submissive. I can take mental and physical. It's like I can take pain if I'm in that mindset of being submissive and letting someone do that to me, because I don't want to, you know, have someone here that's be like, oh, she can't do punish teen sites, she can't do bondage sites. Like, I really want to do that stuff, and I actually did do a really rough scene that was actually fairly painful back in August. So it's more about just the width and length of some of the penises in porn that I can't handle, like that kind of pain where it's like pressure kind of pain.
Okay. What is your ultimate fantasy?
I don't think I have one anymore. A lot of them have been fulfilled through porn. I mean, I guess the only thing left would be, like, to be a babysitter and get fucked by the parents.
Nice. So whatever production companies out there listening to this, we got to make that happen. So
right? I've been wanting it to happen so bad. And there's actually, like, there's two other adult stars that I think would actually look like, well, I guess they would look like my parents, and we wouldn't want to do that because that's like incest. But I've been wanting to do a scene with both of them, and then if they were together, I was like their kid or one of the, I don't know, a step kid. I don't know.
Yeah, you'd have to be the step kid. I always laugh when I see these scenes, and they're always like, because they don't want to tread that line of incest, that are always like, you know, your stepdad would be so mad, and they're like, they put so much emphasis on it. We're like, yes, we know you're not related.
So much emphasis on it. I think it's funny that they put so much emphasis on it because, A, no one actually thinks that the people fucking are related.
Exactly.
At least I don't think anyone genuinely believes that. B, the people watching it are imagining it's really incest. No one's imagining it as, you know, that step-cest or faux-cest or whatever people call it. Like, if you're watching it, you're watching it for a reason, you know? So I don't understand. I mean, and porn's about fantasy. Why not fantasize? Why do you have to censor that, you know, fantasizing?
Hey, exactly. When there's other types of bestiality and other kinds of videos out that are just like
Right.
even more horrifying than
Absolutely.
So, do you have any secret talents?
I don't think so. I have a really big tongue. Like,
Okay.
I guess that would be the only thing that would be like, it's not a talent, but it's like an odd fact about me. Like, my tongue, I can make it like as big as my palm.
Okay. So that means your head game must be friggin' amazing.
I've been told that. I won't,
I don't see
I won't
any
say
guy
it is, but
telling
I've
you
been
it's
told
bad.
that.
Yeah, no guy's gonna say it was bad. Oh yeah, I was.
Exactly. So
I was on
like, I
set with
can't really,
Alison
and then, like, I
Rey.
can't give myself head, so I can't like vouch for myself. I can just tell you what other people have said.
Exactly. Oh, I was on set with Alison Rey today, and that bitch's head was so fucking bad. Like I just wanted to be done with the shoot and just go home. Yeah. Sure, dude. Sure. So, a couple of things I wanted to note. First things first, I was looking on Twitter because I was Twitter stalking you for a little bit.
Okay.
I'm glad you're okay at accepting of that. Thank you. But I was noticing that you are on Barely Legal magazine on the cover. Is this true?
Yes, their October 2015 issue.
That's awesome. So fans can go out there and do you know what the photo shoot is inside? Like, have you seen it, or is it kind of like they just?
I haven't seen it yet.
You?
I think I haven't seen it. I think it's on newsstands, but I've been waiting to go by the Hustler office and get some magazines. And so maybe rather than going out and buying them from your local porn store, go on to my ManyVids store in a few weeks, and I will have signed copies of the magazine there.
Oh, see, I need to get my hands on a signed copy. I'll get my hands on a signed copy and a copy that's not signed because I don't want to ruin the copy that's signed, So that one's got to go in a frame and be put on our walls here in the studio. Because all of our guests, we have all autographed stuff from all of our guests, and they're all in like framings and everything. And nobody wants to see a magazine that's got like stained pages and stuff in a frame. It just doesn't look good.
Oh my gosh.
Like, what the fuck did you do to that magazine? Well, hey, we looked at the autograph and we had to look in the inside, so fans can get that. And then I was also noticing, I guess you were like retweeting and tweeting, there is a new DVD out right now. It was American Innocence or Innocence America. Like, what is that?
Yes, American Innocence 3, which I'm also on the cover of.
So you got a lot of cover work going here.
A little bit. I've had... I guess we pretty much covered everything I've been on. I have 3 DVD covers and then the 1 magazine cover. The other DVD cover I'm on is Best Friends 4 from Philly Films.
Now, what is American Innocence? Give us a quick synopsis of what people can see of that.
I think just the basic premise is that, I haven't even seen it. I haven't even seen a trailer for it. I'm not going to lie. A lot of times I don't get to see my own work unless I buy it, which... I got paid to do it. I don't really want to buy it. I'm like, if they'll show it to me, sure, but
Well, the synopsis they have on the cover says "fresh pussy fucked from its innocence."
Right.
So...
I think their basic premise is that they get innocent-looking girls, and then they have a little raunchier guy or story. I don't want to say the guys are raunchy, but like he acts raunchy towards the girl, and then she's like, okay, and then they fuck.
Now, don't take this the wrong way, because I'm like looking at some of the pictures that you have, like on Twitter and whatnot, and I have to say, like, you don't look like your stereotypical porn star. Like, you look like a girl that would like be like in my biology class or something in school. Like, do you get casted to do like a lot of just the innocent stuff, and like, how do you feel about that?
I think that's one of my strengths because. While I do have that girl next door look and I can't do a lot of glamour stuff, like the like sexy face that girls give in photo shoots, so they're not smiling and they're just like looking at the camera and their eyes are all gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have one of those because of my bone structure. Like, I'm that innocent, I can't do one of those faces. So I don't get cast for a lot of the more glamorous stuff, but I like playing the innocent role, and I'm submissive anyway, and so putting me in that innocent teenager role is no problem for me. I think it's a lot of fun, and everyone always says, like, oh, well, you'll be thankful for it when you're older. I'm like, I'm thankful for it now. Like, it makes me money. There's, not a lot of girls who don't look like porn stars. Like, the girl next door thing is super in right now, and there's plenty of girls who have that look. But I think, too many of them are, stick skinny where they can still pull off the glamour model. And that, that's the difference with me is, like, I am very average, and I own that. And I think that's an appeal to a lot of people because a lot of guys can watch my stuff and think, oh, hey, like, I could totally see her actually living next door to me, seeing her in a mall, seeing her, at the store when I go there. And that's what they like is not knowing, but thinking that I'm that normal, that I'm the type of girl that they could actually get.
Well, if you have not seen any of these photos, make sure you follow her on Twitter at Alison Rey XXX. And there's photos that are on here, and like you have this most amazing body. Like it's just
thank you.
It's just like you said, it's very like subtle and very like normal. Like you're not over the top. Like you're not like boobs like popping out everywhere and like big fake titties and all that stuff. But if there's something that you could change about yourself, was there anything that you could change and that would you want to change?
My nose.
Okay. And why is that?
This nose has been in my family for like, I think we said like 6 generations now, and we can't get rid of it. No matter, what men, the women in my family have procreated with, we cannot get rid of this freaking nose. And so I guess I grew up thinking my nose was ugly, and so I've kind of always wanted a nose job. And I'm like kind of sort of saving up for one, but I'm not that serious about it. So I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll happen someday. Maybe not.
Well, I don't think it's that bad.
It's not big. It's just, it doesn't have that, like, really cute little slope that a lot of girls have. Like, my nostrils are a little bit bigger than other girls. Like, there was one person who left a really mean comment on my free ones one time saying, like, the only thing they could see when watching my porn was my nostrils. They were just always staring at my nostrils. I'm like, hey, thanks. It's, like, my biggest insecurity. So, that's nice of you.
Fuck that guy. There's a reason why he's on free ones all night. Jerking off
right?
the porn. So believe me, he's a non-factor. But one other thing I wanted to talk about real quickly before you leave, because like I said, I was Twitter stalking you, and looking through these pictures, and it was like this was like a week ago, and it's like nothing's keeping me from watching Kickoff 2015. Now, I don't know what class you were in or studying, but from the picture that I can see, I see a football field. This is definitely not, unless you're in sports management. Are you a big sports fan?
I love football. I never got into it until like high school, and then my school was very supportive of our football team, and I was super into it, and I finally learned everything about the game, and I love going to games. I love watching games. I love having parties, and I was stuck in class, and I was upset that I wasn't home with my boyfriend watching Kickoff. And so I was in the back of the class, and I streamed it on my computer on mute with subtitles and let my professor lecture until she was done, and then I went home and finished watching the game.
Now, is there a certain team that you root for, or?
Seahawks.
Seahawks.
Unfortunately, we're not doing so well right now, but
yes.
We'll get there. We got our first home game, week 3. We'll be fine.
So you can rebound from that, get a couple more wins.
Absolutely.
Under your belt. Now, do you have a favorite player?
What was that?
Do you have a favorite player? Do you like? Is it Russell Wilson, Marshawn Lynch?
Not particularly. I don't think I know enough about any of the players to be like, oh yeah, they're my favorite. I just kind of root for the team as a whole.
Well, most females don't really know much about it. They just kind of root for whoever they think is cute. So you could always go that route.
No, I don't really do that.
Well, is there anything you want the fans to know before you get out of here?
Check out my ManyVids store. Not always, but I'm working on posting a lot more videos and store items on there.
Okay, and then make sure you follow her on Twitter, Instagram, all that great
I
stuff.
don't have Instagram.
Oh, you don't have Instagram, okay.
I don't have Instagram.
Well, then you can follow her on Twitter. See, I was only partially stalking you. You know, I didn't want to get arrested, so.
Not full stalk. That's
Not
okay.
full stalk, just half stalk. But and make sure you go pick up her new magazine cover from her site. She'll get that autographed for you. And then also American Innocence. I'm definitely going to go get a copy of that because I definitely want to see how innocent America can be. And see, it's a third volume of this, so there's 2 more great DVDs of pure American Innocence, and but not as good as the third one because Alison is on the cover of that one. But, we appreciate you talking to us. I had a good time talking with you. I enjoy, hearing what you have to say about the business, and we hope to hear big things from you. And I said I'm going to go order one of those Barely Legal magazines, so you let me know when they're up there, and then we'll tweet it out, and we'll make sure everybody goes and buys all the copies that you have.
Sounds great.
All righty. Well, we'll talk to you real soon.
All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hi, I'm Alison Rey, and I'm a 19-year-old adult film star. And you're listening to Mix Masta B on MMB Radio.